Hi, I'm Chris Burrows, back again with another training for our media team. This time we're talking about editing, and we're going to talk about using Davinci Resolve and a little bit of Audacity for some sound stuff too. You would get this logo for Davinci and that logo for Audacity. If you clicked on Davinci, you would normally open up this window first. Either click on Untitled Project or click on where it says New Project, and then that's how we get started. I'm going to go ahead and just double click on Title Project, and it opens up. Okay, so there's a possibility that you may not have videos to work with. So something that I was going to do is I was going to copy a link. This is where it takes you to. We have one of our Chappie's Corner videos, and then there's a download button there. I would then suggest making a new folder on your computer. Just right click here, choose a new folder, call it edit test. And then if you have your download file, the Chappie's one, you can just copy it from your downloads into the other folder. And that's all we need for that. Okay, now, inside Davinci, explain there's a bunch of different folders down here at the bottom. And actually, these are all separate programs. Normally, when you open it up, it starts showing this cut page. But you want to go back to this first one. And if you click on it, this is what's called your media pool. And if you hover over it, it should say it. There we go. It says media. This one says cut. That one says edit. This one says fusion. This one says color. This one says Farlight, which is their sound software. And this one says deliver. That will tell you to actually export it when you're done. Okay. So in your media pool, normally you would drag in the different files that you plan to work with. So since I had put that into this folder, I'm going to go ahead and drag the file right into my media pool. And there it is up there, now ready to work with. Okay. You might want to have other things like sound files or picture files or whatever else. And you can just drag them straight from your own Explorer window into the media pool. Okay. Sometimes you might want to have videos from your phone or something along those lines that you might want to be able to utilize. So I'm going to show you that at this time. Normally, all you would need to do is take your phone, and you would plug your phone in using your phone cable. So you plug your phone in using your phone cable, and then you plug into a USB port. You should see your phone show up as a regular file, regular device over on the side. This is my phone. And then usually you'll be able to see the actual file. You can just click on it there and see what's inside your phone as far as your folders that are there. Hang on, this is not coming over correctly yet. Just a minute. And then you're looking for the one that says DCIM, and click on that. And then the one that says camera, those will be the files that your camera has. And then if you have any videos that you've recorded on your phone, they'll be in there. Okay, so this one I know is an MP4, it's a video. I just recorded it earlier today. So I'm going to copy that and put that into my my folder. The same folder where I put Chappie's video. I'm going to paste it in there, paste there. And so now I've got the video there as well. And so I can drag this video now into the Davinci the same way. And there it is right there now with it. Not a very nice picture, but we'll do. Okay, so now I've got my two pieces of media in here. I had some audio in there too from this other thing that I had done. So I've got my media pool. Now I'm ready to start editing. this Chappie's Corner is the video that I want to turn into a new timeline. It's a video that I want to edit. And so if I put it down here, my computer is lagging again. I click here, and then that was a right click, by the way, which says create new timeline using that clip. So I go create new timeline, and it's asking what do I want to call the timeline. So I'm going to call it test editing, and it says how many tracks do I want to have. Use one track might be enough, but usually you want to sometimes have more than one, so you can like layer videos on top of each other and do other things. So I'm going to change this to at least have at least two. Sorry, it's dragging it. At least two. Okay, video and at least two audio. Okay. And I say create, and so it's made now a timeline. The difference between timelines and single clips have this little like music sign in the corner. And if you click over here, it'll tell you how long that clip is. You know, it starts at 0. Its input is 0, outputs at 50 seconds and 12. And the whole length is that, how big the file size is there. Timeline will have this little like sequence there. Notice how if you move your mouse over, you can actually see it play through. Okay, and I can double click on it. And now that takes me, notice how it jumped from media now into the timeline spot. And so here for editing, and so now it's ready to edit. And this is the entire clip. Notice that it has video above this line and audio below that line. If I drag this bottom one, I can see the entire length of it. If I want to make it so I can see more of it at one time, this is the negative one to shrink it down so I can see the entire timeline, or I can hit plus and make it bigger so I can, yeah. Usually I like to be able to see the majority of the timeline. But sometimes you want to be able to zoom in. So you can grab this bar to take you through it. Notice that how the audio and video right now, they are in sync. They move together. You click either top or bottom and they will drag together. However, you can detach them. If you right click and choose take off the link clip, they can be detached. You don't necessarily want to do that because once you get it out of sync, sometimes it's hard to get it back in. But you could lock a track by clicking this lock. And so if I lock the video and then try to drag the audio will drag on its own. And if you notice now the numbers are turning red, like you know that they are out of whack with each other. Okay, and that's back in whack again. And you could unlock and do the same thing for the other way with the video. And hopefully they are oh, sorry, unlock them both now. They're in sync again. But if they were out of sync, you could click on one and then shift click on the other, you know, and then choose link clips, and that'll put them back together again if they are out of if they do come unlocked from each other. Okay, so now about this clip. Well, notice how the video says, well, there's lock, there's these other ones you really don't need to worry about. Okay, meaning the lock is the only one that you need to worry about on there. However, in the audio one, there's an S and there's an M. S is for solo, and M is for mute. Those that work with video, with audio tracks, if I had more than one audio track here and I hit S on this one, that'll make this track play by itself and you won't hear the other ones. If I hit mute, that'll make it so you don't hear this track at all. Okay, so let's see how that works. So let's see, we had a piece of audio earlier, so I'm gonna go and grab the audio that we had put up there. I'm gonna put that underneath. Well, let's see what she sounds like first. I can hit my space bar to play it.
Welcome back, JC Neighbors. Tonight we're going to talk about a craft that has to do with patience.
Okay, so notice how that track already has some music playing behind her talking already. So this has been an edited video that somebody has already added music to the back of it. If you don't want to do spacebar, you do have the play here.
Because that's
stop
what
there, and jump to the end, jump to the next clip. But now, let's take the audio and drag it down to the front part here.
Welcome back, Jason Neighbors. Tonight we're going to talk about...
Okay, so can you hear the other audio playing?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. So now if you if I hit solo on this one, what will happen on the top track?
Probably won't hear it.
Yeah, I'll just hear the top one and not hear the bottom one. So let's
craft that has to do with patience.
Okay.
Because
so
that's what our lesson is about.
Now you hear both tracks.
And when I thought of patience, I thought of
If I hit solo on the bottom
farmers.
one, now you only hear the bottom track.
They wait for the rain so that they will have some
If I mute the
harvest.
bottom one,
And I thought about
now
the
you're only
fact
hearing the
that
top one. So
when we asked the
so it
whole...
works pretty straightforward. But now notice how this this track though has a line that kind of goes all the way through the middle of it there. Okay. Well, that line can be used to raise and lower the audio. Notice how I make this drag down. It makes the waveform skinnier, and it means it's not as loud.
Holy Spirit to guide us, that we are just loaded.
If I drag down even more,
with all kinds of things we talked about.
Okay. Or if I drag it way up.
Love, we talked about joy, we talked about peace.
Okay. Now, but notice how we also have bars on the end down here that are going, our mixer part. This one says audio 1, so that controls the volume for this whole audio 1 track. This one says audio 2, so that controls the volume for this whole audio 2 track. So if I didn't want to mess with the middle, waveform line, okay, but instead I wanted to control it with the actual bars, I could do that as well.
Well, just like the farmers, we are going to be waiting for the harvest of all of the things that.
Okay. Now it's important to note that these when you see the meters over here, if they are going into the red, even if it doesn't sound like it, it's going to be distorting a lot of it, staying in the red all the time. So you do want to have it so the main volume
they're going to help us
occurs
to
is not going
a better
way into
person.
red all the time.
So let's see if we can make our truck.
There, it's in red.
All right.
It might be distorting at some point. Okay, so now about the video part of it then. Oh, notice how each of these also has a little button right here on this front end. If you drag that one over, that allows you to fade in your sound. So each track could fade in that same way. Video has the same thing. If I drag that one over, I can fade in the video.
Welcome back, Jason Neighbors. Tonight we're going to talk about a craft that has to do with...
and that's way too slow. So that's not, and the sound's way same thing. So I'll try again.
Welcome back, JC Neighbors. Tonight we're going to talk about...
Okay, and it has on the far end too the same way, so you can fade out your sound the same way. Okay. So for now how do I edit this? How do I make changes on the actual video? Okay, well, let's do this. Let's look through.
Welcome back, Jason Neighbors. Tonight we're going to talk about a craft that has to do with patience.
Okay, I'm going to pause there. I hit the space bar to pause it. I want to zoom in a little bit closer, so I'm going to hit the plus sign there. Also, if I hold my Alt key down and roll my mouse wheel, I can also zoom in and out. It'll zoom to wherever this bar is before I make an edit. Okay, so right now I'm on this pointer. If I want to make a cut, I would go to the razor blade. Okay. I notice how it says blade edit mode is B, the selection mode is A. So on your keyboard, you could hit B and it will jump automatically to the razor blade, or hit A and it'll jump back to the selection thing. And those really are the only two that you need, are the selector and the cutter. So I'm gonna hit B, and I have to just come over here and bring it down to where I want to cut. And notice how it looks like a razor blade. I just hit cut, and then notice that there's a line that goes through. It cut both the video and the audio for that clip. It did not cut the audio for the one below it. It's just that clip that's cut. Okay. And let's say that we want to now go all the way down toward the end of the video and find where she's almost done with the project, instead of hitting the thing. Okay. So I like that. About here.
Us to be patient is
I'm going to mute this bottom track. I don't need that.
something we call faith.
Okay. So let's rewind that a little bit.
And what helps us to be patient?
Okay, so I like when she says, and what helps us to be patient. So I'm going to move in a little closer. I can see the waveform where she starts to say, and what helps us is right up there.
And what helps us?
Okay, so I want to cut just before that. So I line it up, cut right there. And
what helps us to be
patience. Okay, so I want to get rid of all this section in the middle here. So I'm going to make sure I'm on my pointer. I'm going to choose that middle one. And I got to figure out how I'm going to get rid of that, what I'm going to do. Okay, well, now there's two ways of getting rid of it. Now, if I hit the delete key on my keyboard, it'll just take it out. But what will happen is it will also drag whatever's behind it over. So let me show you. Hit delete. And notice how that's what's called a ripple delete. It takes out what's there and then drags whatever's behind it over as well. Okay. I can undo. Control Z undoes. But if I wanted to take it out and have it just leave an empty space there, I could, hit Control X. Control X. And actually, if I right click on it, it'll tell you that. Cutting it is Control X, and ripple cut is Control Shift X, or the delete key also does that same thing. So if I hit Control X now, that cuts it out, but leaves it without it rippling over. And then you could take this and just drag it over yourself, or you could click on the space between them and just hit delete on that space between them, and that'll take care of it. Or click the space between them and hit ripple delete, and that'll take care of it that way as well. Okay. So now let's look at our edit. I'm going to go back a little bit. So she comes in, she starts, she says,
Welcome back, JC neighbors. Tonight we're going to talk about a craft that has to do with patience. And what helps us to be patient is something we call faith. We have faith that God is going to do that for us.
okay. And as far as for our program tonight, that is enough. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that part right there. So she knows there's a cut there again. And I'm just going to click on here and choose delete to get rid of the end of it here. And that's the end of the video. Now, the sound at the bottom is still going a long way past that, so I don't need this other, we muted it, but I'm not going to need this extra part of this track here down here either. So I'm going to take my cutter and I'm going to cut that last part off as well. Okay. And then do that. Okay. And then how do we want to end it? Do we want to end it just like cutting it like that, or do we want to fade out or something?
God is going to do that for us.
So let's do a fade out. So I'm just going to slide that over with the fade out. I'm going to want our sound to fade out as well, so I'll fade that out. And then this sound down here, I'll probably want it to fade out as well, so I'll fade that out too. I'm going to unmute it so we can hear what it sounds like with that track as well.
Welcome back, JC neighbors. Tonight we're going to talk about a craft that has to do with patience. And what helps us to be patient is something we call faith. We have faith that God is going to do that for us.
Okay. Now, that's all it takes really to edit stuff. But now sometimes you want to have a transition between things. So the way Davinci is set up, you can have on this side over here, it tells you your video transitions. This it gives you your audio transitions, your titles, and then you have generators and effects, and some special filters and other stuff that's not really crucial right now. But the main thing we want is a transition. So since some time overlapped between here, even though they may not know, but there was a little bit of time went by, you could choose different kinds. Usually dip to color would be one transition you can use that will let you know that time has gone by, or you can do a dissolve to let you try and transition between the two. So let's see what a dip to color looks like. I notice when you get a transition, you kind of just drag it over to where you want it to go. It can either go before the cut, it can go on the cut, or it can go to the right of the cut. Yeah, I'm going to put it right now between the two of them. I'll zoom in closer so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so it's transitioning between from one cut to the other. This one's called a dip to color, so it will dip to black and come back out. If I want that transition to be longer, I can drag the end and make it longer. And notice how also when you click on a transition or anything, for example, this side over here tells you about how it's set up, how it's working, what it's doing. So like I said, if you want to align the transition in the middle, that's when you click. If you want it on one side of it, you could have clicked that button as well, or you could have clicked this one as well on this side. This is lining it up in the middle right now. You can also decide how long you want it to be up here as well too. So right now it says 2.2 seconds, but if I increase the number here, it also makes it longer or smaller. Okay, well, that's stuff you can kind of learn as you go along. But there's a transition there. Okay, you could have picked some other transitions as well, but let's focus now on, well, if I wanted a title. Okay, so here's title over here, and then you could choose the title that you want to put on. If you hover over it, it gives you some ideas what the titles look like. Okay, there's some fancier ones down here at bottom too. Yeah. But we're going to just go with, for right now, just go with the simple one here. And usually we put the title up on a different track. You don't put it right on the same track as the video. You put it above it, so it superimposes over the video. And when you click on the title, then these controls over here will be for that title. Okay, so this is just talking about patience. So let's call it patience. Okay, and okay, and then so this one has two lines. So if I scroll down, I can see that there's more information on this title. So okay. You could change the colors and stuff for it. So I click here, I'm able to pick a color. Yeah. Or if I want to pick something from the screen, for example, let's pick this. Well, hang on. Before I do that, let's scroll into like this purple that's there. So I can pick color, go to the screen, hover over that purple, click on it, and now it'll be the same color as that background. Okay. Now, it doesn't make sense to bring it up while the camera's moving. So I'm going to drag the tile down here somewhere. So it comes on after it's been settled. And now your title can also come in with a fade in or fade out like the other things using that slider on the end.
Helps us to be paid.
Or you can use what's called I like to do like a push or a slide. So I go to my video transition, and down here there's something called slides. Stick a slide on the front end of that.
Helps us to be patient.
Okay. Now that brought it in from the left, but if you notice, if I click on the slide, controls over here tell you that you've got other ways of controlling that slide. This says slide in left to right. Let's try slide right to left. See what that does.
And what helps us to be patient is...
And then when it's over, maybe I want to slide out. So let's put a slide at the end of it. So that's the basics of it. And then the question is, well, what do these other tabs down here do? So then we've got the Fusion tab, which you'll probably never have to use. But if you do want to do a visual effect of some kind, you click on the clip that you want to do the effect on. Then you would go to the Fusion tab. And here is the clip. You know, from where it starts to where it ends. Okay. And I don't want to put my effect somewhere in the middle. So if I right click here, I choose my tool or my effect. Let's say I want to put a blur on, for example. I could choose a blur. Okay. And then I want to make sure that I go from, I pass the pipe through the blur. And then now these controls up here for my blur. So let's say the size of the blur, I want to be a bit bigger. Okay. And so now that clip has a blur on it that's throughout the entire clip. If I wanted to animate where the blur starts and stops, I could hit this little button at the end, let it play a bit.
We have faith.
And then I'll turn the blur up, let it play a bit more.
God is going to do that for us.
And then I can, have the blur change over time.
And what helps us to be patient
and then when I go back to my edit, it does it automatically inside that clip. But that's not something that you're not going to ever usually have to use that. Another feature that it has is color correction, which is here. And that's not something you're probably never going to have to use either too much. But these nodes work the same way. If the clip feeds through it, and then when you have this node here, you can change it a different, by using your color tools, like the wheel or whatever, or making it darker or lighter by using your curves. And then it feeds through. If you want to add another node, you right click, choose add a node corrector, and feed it through that corrector. Something I don't do that hardly ever, so I don't really know it that well either. But you can add on top of this first one, you can add another change of some kind, like making it darker, lowering the gain, and then they can build on top of each other. But like I said, you're going to hardly ever use that one. This next button is to work with your audio. You see each of your audio tracks that are here. This is top one says this is Chappie's one that she's talking.
And what helps us to be patient?
You see she's on track 1. Over here on track 1, I've got where I can add effects to my audio. Okay, so let's say we want to add effect. Let's say we want to add reverb, for example. So put on a reverb, hit reverb. This opens up.
Yes.
And you can adjust and lower it. Now, if we don't want the effect on, you just turn off that little red button that's there.
Tonight we're going to talk about a craft that has to do with patience.
Okay.
And
you can add other effects on top of those by hitting this, and it's picking a different effect if you wanted to. But once again, another thing you're not going to probably ever have to do, but in case you wanted to, it's there. So the other thing that you might want to do as a result of all this is go to this last one, which says deliver. You might want to export it as a file to use. Okay, so I'll come over to my deliver one. And it has a whole bunch of different ways that you can choose to export it. Okay. Usually I go to the YouTube one, and usually 720p is enough. So you click on that, and these settings are all set now for 720p. I would give it a title. Okay. And a place to save it. So this folder. Copy this folder in there. Okay. And now, if I have my YouTube information stored on my computer, I can upload it straight to YouTube from here. So that's what this little check mark is there, upload directly to YouTube. I could put in a title. That'll be the title that shows up on the video in YouTube. Okay. And in my descriptions, I could say what it was, and that'll be in the YouTube as well when it's up there. However, I don't want to send this one straight to YouTube, so I'm going to uncheck that. And then I'm going to hit add to render queue. So I don't have to send it right away. I could send it later. I could do other edits and have them all inside a queue, and then say render, and it'll do them all at the same time. So I hit add to render queue. Now it puts it over here in the queue, waiting for me to say, render all, and then it will render it out. Okay, but let's look it over again before I send it. That's pretty good. Okay. One last thing that I'm going to kind of do just to go around it. I'm going to go back to my edit. And I had that video that I had from my phone. Is it? Yeah, this one. Notice how when I put it over the timeline, it can cut off some of the other stuff if I'm not careful. Like my sound, like when I put it down here, my sound was cutting into the other soundtrack. So I want to push it up high enough so it's on a track where it's not interfering with the other tracks. But I put it here. And so there's my video.
Hello, welcome to our test
back,
video.
JC Neighbors.
Okay, and notice how that video overlaps the other one. If it was the same size video, it would be on top. You wouldn't see the one below it. But now that since it's narrower, you can see it overlapping the video behind it. These controls over here, since I clicked on that, are controls for that video. Maybe I want it smaller, so I'm going to zoom in. And maybe I want it in a different place. I'm going to change the position of it. And I don't want them speaking while I'm speaking, so I'm going to choose all this. I'll choose all this stuff from before. Just drag it over a little further. Okay. So that mine can come first before they do.
Hello, welcome to our test video.
Welcome back, JC Neighbors.
Okay. Now, mine just popped off the screen. What can I do to get it so that it doesn't just pop off? But okay, well, I can just fade it off, I guess. By dragging that over there.
Hello, welcome to our test video.
Welcome back,
I'm here.
Neighbors.
Okay.
Tonight we're going to talk about a craft that has.
Okay, so that's there. Now it's ready for me to send it out. So I go to my deliver, and now you see it's been added to the overall edit that's about to go. And then all I need to now say is render all, and it goes through it. It puts it all together, all the transitions and everything, and that is done. looks like as it's finished.
Hello, welcome to our test video.
Welcome back, JC neighbors. Tonight we're going to talk about a craft that has to do with patience. And what helps us to be patient is something we call faith. We have faith that God is going to do that for us.
Okay. So that's all for Davinci that you would need to know. We do a quick showing of how to do Audacity, and then we were done for tonight. So I'm just going to click on the Audacity one. It looks like that. Basically, you want to make sure that the speaker is what your headphones are, that the microphone is the microphone that you're currently using. And so I've got this one set up. All you got to do is hit record. Hi, this is a test video. I'm not sure what right now. I might want to talk to you about recording sound. Okay. Once the track is there, you can jump back to the beginning and hit play. Hi, this is a test video. I'm not sure what right now. I might want to talk to you about recording sound. Okay. Now there's that part in the middle that I talked and I said some stuff I wasn't necessarily wanted to hear. I think it's about right here. I'm not sure what right now. I might want to talk to you about recording sound. So I'm going to get rid of this part by just clicking and dragging. I can hit the delete key. And that should have got rid of that part. I might want to talk to you about recording sound. When I say I might twice, I might want to talk to you about. Let's see. I might want to talk. Something says want there. Let's just see if I can get rid of it there. Complete. I might to talk to you. Cut off the want to. Hit Control Z to undo. Let's get rid of this mic. I might want to talk to you about recording sound. Okay, and you can't hear it too much on this one. Hi, but in the background there's a bit of noise. Okay, from my computer, so I'm going to highlight this first part where I know that it's only noise. Yeah, so all this is noise. I'm going to effects, and I'm going to pick noise removal. It requires you to get a noise profile. That means that it wants to hear what the noise sounds like. So I've highlighted the part that I know is noise. I hit get noise profile. So it just did that. I can then highlight the whole thing. Go to effects, back to that same noise removal. And now I can preview it. Hi, this is a test video. I might want to talk to you about recording sound. Okay, and so it sounds pretty good. So I hit OK. And notice how it dropped all those places that had noise down to 0. And it also did, even in the parts that had audio, it tried to remove the noise from there. Hi, this is a test video. I might want to talk to you about recording sound. Okay. Simple enough too. If you want to increase the volume on it, okay, you can turn the volume up right here. Hi, this is a test video. I might want. That's obviously too loud. It started to distort. So I'll keep it at 0. Ideally, what you do is what's called normalize the video, so that the volume can be at 0, and this can also be matching 0. So what I'm going to do is highlight it again. And go to effects, choose normalize, have it as 0, and there we go. And then, hi, this is a test video. I might want to talk to you about recording sound. And that way it's not distorting, but it is louder. Okay. I can also adjust it to left or right sound as well. This is a mono microphone, so it's only one track, but if it was stereo recorded, you could adjust the left and right there. Okay, and then when you're ready to get rid of it, I'm going to export, I should say. You would go to File. You could choose File, and if you choose Save, you can actually save the project. That's not the same as exporting the audio. The project, you can open the project again and continue to work on it. If I'm ready to export the audio, I go to Export. And I usually export as MP3 or as a WAV. MP3 is a smaller file, so I'm going to stick with that. And then I type in what I want to call it. Okay, and I hit save. Okay, and then it allows you to put in metadata. If you want to put who recorded it, and that'll all be in with it when you open it up in other programs. They can see the metadata on there and know information about it. Okay, and say okay. And then it goes through and test audio. Exactly like hi, this is a test video. I might want to talk to you about recording sound. Okay. And then that same file could be dragged into Davinci Resolve later on and used as well. Open it up and go into our editing. Drag the sound into Resolve. Okay. Hi, this is a test video. I might want to talk to you about recording sound. Okay. And then you could drag it down to your timeline and play it in the timeline as well if you wanted to. Hi, this is a test video. I might want to talk to you about recording sound.
And what?
Or Control X to get rid of it if you don't want to do it.